Hello everybody, good afternoon. How are you today? I hope you and all your families are okay. Stay at home. Remember that it's very important. Wash your hands. And well, today we are going to study the lesson 1E. And I want you to look at these pictures, please. As you can see, we have 4 different pictures. Can you tell me about looking these pictures? For example, at this moment, how do you feel? Do you feel bored? Do you feel excited? Do you feel surprised? Maybe you feel so tired. So how do you feel right now? As you can see, you have 4 different pictures where you can use these 4 adjectives that you have here. You have delighted, embarrassed, surprised, and tired. What do you think the man in picture number 1 is feeling? Yes, that's right. Okay, he is tired, maybe as most of us, okay? Number 2, what do you think the woman in picture 2 is feeling? Yes, that's right. I think she is surprised, okay? Because she is doing something like expression. What do you think the woman in picture 3 is feeling? She's feeling embarrassed, okay? Because of the reaction in her face. And what do you think the woman in picture 4 are feeling? Okay, you have here something that says welcome home. Okay, they feel delighted. That's the correct word, okay? So to start with this unit, please open your student's book on page 13. And in this lesson, we are going to check the adjective endings. For example, if you go to the cinema and you don't like the movie, so you feel bored because the movie was boring. That's the difference between the endings with the adjectives. Ending in ed and ending in ing. That's what we are going to check it today. So it says read the text and who replied to Zoe's message, when did they reply and from where? So you have a little text here. I want you to take your time and read the text and then answer the questions that you have here in exercise 2. And it says, in 1990, Zoe Lemon was on a ferry sailing from Hull in England to Germany. She was going on holiday with her family. The journey was long and tiring and 10 years old. She was going on holiday with her family. The journey was long and tiring and 10 years old. So soon got bored. Please underline the adjective bored. To pass the time, she decided to write a message in a bottle and drop it into the sea. It will be interesting. Please underline interesting if someone finds it. She thought, then she forgot about the bottle completely. 23 years later, she was amazed. Underline amazed to get a reply from someone in the Netherlands. A man was walking on the beach and was surprised. Underline surprised, please. To find Zoe's bottle in the sand. He wrote to the address on the message where Zoe's parents still live. Zoe was delighted, underline delighted. But it was also very moving for her to see her message again after 23 years. And she cried when she read it. It's astonishing, underline astonishing, that the bottle didn't break, said Zoe. Her 5-year-old son thinks it is all very exciting, underline exciting, and wants to put a message in a bottle himself. Okay, so I want you to check the adjectives that you have underlined in the text, and I want you to notice what's the difference between the use with the adjectives ending in ed and the difference between the adjectives ending in ing. For example, as you can see, you have here, let me check, the first one, what was that? Decided. Amazed. Amazed. For example, we use the ending in ed in the adjective when we are talking about the person. It says she was amazed, okay? Take a look of it. I'm walking on the beach and was surprised. We are talking about the man. We're still talking about a person. So I'm going to speak in Spanish, okay? Si van a describir a una persona, el adjetivo termina en ed. Y si describen algún objeto o alguna cosa, el adjetivo termina con ing. For example, amazed, the woman was amazed. Surprised, the man was surprised. Zoe was delighted. Okay, as you can see, all of the adjectives with the ending in ed refers to a person. Okay, now let's check the other adjectives. For example, we have exciting. We're talking about a thing. It is all very exciting. It's about talking about the fact. Okay, we are not talking about any persons. So when we talk about a thing or something that is not a person, we have to write our adjectives with the ending in ing. Okay, we have here exciting. You have astonishing. It is astonishing. And I think we have some other. Okay, so let's check the learned box. And it says ending ed ing adjectives. Many adjectives ending in. So tell me please and write your answer to describe how people feel. Ed. Okay, adjectives ending in ing describe something which makes them feel that way. Okay, describe something. It doesn't describe the people, it describes something. Okay, pairs of ed and ing adjectives like this are formed from verbs. Example, disappoint, disappointed, I am disappointed, my exam result is disappointing. Remember that I told you an example before? I told you something like I was bored. I went to the cinema and I was bored because the movie was boring. Sometimes the spelling change. For example, worry, it ends in y. Remember that most of the rules here are the same with all the verbs and adjectives and words. Okay, so we have worry as a verb, worrieth. Okay, for example, I am worried about the exams, our exams. Worrying, bored, and boring. We have the verb, adjective to describe people, and adjective to describe something. Not all ed adjectives have ing equivalents. Example, delighted and shame. These are some examples that can't end with ing form. Remember that all the rules in English have their own exceptions. Okay, so let's go to exercise 4, and it says read the dictionary in thrice and learn this box and complete the rule using ed or ing. Exhausted, adjective, very tired. Exhausting, making something very tired. For example, teaching young children is exhausting. It's an exhausting work. Or you can say, I feel exhausted because I am a young children teacher. Okay. Now it says we have to complete the rule, but we have already complete the rules in exercise number 3, right? So now it says find all the ed and ing adjectives in the text in exercise 2. We have already find the adjectives from the exercise, but here you have the adjectives in the text with ed ending are bored, amazed, surprised, and delighted. And the adjectives that you can find in the text with the ing ending are tiring, interesting, moving, astonishing, exciting, The adjective delighted doesn't have an ing equivalent. Remember that, okay? That's very important. Now it says, use a dictionary. Remember that you can go to the Google dictionary and you can find an ed and ing adjectives form from the verbs below. Make a list in your notebook and which verbs does not form an ing adjective. Which verbs did we mention that doesn't have an ing ending? Delighted, ashamed. But let's look for these verbs in your dictionaries, okay? For example, disgust is a verb. Disgusted and disgusting, okay? So try to do the same with the rest of the verbs. And then please check your answers with my answers, okay? So we have annoy, annoyed, annoying. If you have one of these that are missing or you got a mistake, please try to correct it and remember that you have to write all of your answers in a post-it or in a piece of paper here in your page, okay? Let's continue. Worry, worried, worrying. Disgust, disgusted, disgusting. Exhaust, exhausted, exhausting. Relieve, relieveth. It doesn't have an ing form. Satisfy, satisfied, satisfying. Surprise, surprised, surprising. Okay? So, as you have already checked your answers, let's go to exercise number 7. And it says, circle the correct forms to complete the sentences. I don't like this film. It's, okay, that's right. It's bored. Or it's boring. What do you say? I am talking about the film. Boring, okay? I don't find computer games very. We are talking about the computer games. So your answer must be exciting. Don't be, they are talking about a person, right? Don't be, okay, frightened. The dog won't bite. 4. I am talking about the person. I shocked, okay, when I heard the news. It's talking about a thing. It's really, so the answer is annoying when you interrupt. Why are you looking so? You, talking about the person. Why are you looking so worried? Okay, it's all right. So remember, we use the adjectives that ends with ed when we are describing the person, okay? And we are using the adjectives ending in the ing form when it describes the something, okay? It describes something. Now it says complete each pair of sentence with ed and ing adjectives formed from the verbs in brackets. I don't understand this map. We are talking about the map. So it's very confusing. Can you help me with my maths? I'm talking about the person. Confused, that's right. It's talking about the person. I was embarrassed when I fell over. I hate it when my dad danced. It's so embarrassing. Okay? That journey was it's talking about the journey, so the ending must be in ing form, tiring. I was tired. I'm talking about the person. Are you interested in photography? Which is the most interesting lesson, because I am talking about the lesson. Yuck, this cheese smells disgusting. And she was disgusted by his bad behavior. Okay? So it's very, very easy to remember that. When we are talking about the person, the adjective must end in ed. And if we are describing something, not a person, we are describing something, the adjective ends in ing, okay? And remember that we have some examples that the adjectives only have an ending with ed. So let's continue. And it says, we often react to things we hear or see with how plus the adjective. For example, how boring, how disgusting, or how wonderful, okay? Read to learn these books and work alone. You can work in pairs. Maybe if you have a brother or sister at home, you can work with him or her. Make a sentence using the past simple and the words below. Add your own ideas. For example, you have to write the verb in the past simple form. Drop, I dropped, my phone, and it, break, and it broke, past simple. And you have to use an expression with how plus the adjective. The adjective must be ending with the ing form, okay? How annoying. My dad danced on my birthday party. And you have to say, how disgusting, okay? That's an example, I don't know. My favorite football team lost the weekend. Oh, how embarrassed or how disgusted or I don't know, okay? I get full marks on my English exam. I got full marks on my English exam. Okay, and you have to write how plus an adjective. So let's check some examples here. Okay, so please try to finish this one. I saw a car crash in the town center, and maybe you wrote how, I don't know, how embarrassed maybe, okay, how disgusting maybe about that, maybe if you feel disgusted. Okay, now to end with this lesson, I want you to write these sentences maybe in a post-it or at the beginning of your page, and it says, the film was so, we're talking about the film, boring. I need to sleep, I'm talking about the person, tired. I passed the exam, I'm so relieved. Joke, that meal was disgusting. The marathon was exhausting. And the news about Joe's is really wonderful. Okay, I want you to write these sentences at the beginning of your page to have more examples using the adjectives with the ending in ing form and ending with ed. Okay, so that's all for today. Remember that you have homework. You have to answer lesson 1E for your homework. The next week, we are going to check all of the answers from the workbook. So it is very important for you to answer all the pages so you can take the revision the next week, okay? So have a nice day and see you on tomorrow's lesson. Bye.